Dear students, welcome to the lecture on machine learning. In last class, I explained decision tree in two videos. At that time, what I explained what is a decision tree, how to construct a decision tree, and what are the various impurity measures used to evaluate the decision tree, right? The impurity measures like minority class, Gini index, entropy, and one more is square root Gini. These are the four different impurity measures we discussed. And I already explained one algorithm also to construct a decision tree. The algorithm is a growth tree algorithm. Growth tree algorithm using three important functions. One is homogeneous of D, and second one is a label of D, and third one is best split of D comma F, right? I already explained what is a homogeneous. Homogeneous of here D indicates data set, right? Here this data set is a set of training examples, right? And we are giving F also as parameter to the best split function. Here F indicates feature set. By using the features of instances, we are going to construct a decision tree. And to know the accuracy of the decision tree and to know the splitting criteria, we are going to use impurity measures like minor class, Gini index, entropy, and square root Gini. In last video, I explained each and every impurity measure with an example also. Right. These are the examples I explained in my last video regarding impurity measures. Now, today's topic is ranking and probability estimation trees. This is also one of the important concepts regarding tree construction. Decision tree construction is a decision tree construction is easy. We can construct a decision tree in easy manner, but how correctly we constructed the decision tree is important. Means whenever a new instance is going to evaluated by the constructed tree model, the result should be accurate. The result should be very close to the real results. Means actual results should be equal to, the arrived results equal to the actual results. The arrived results are our model, our tree model generated results on the new instances should be equal to the actual results. See, then only we will get correct classifiers, correct tree classifiers. To construct such kind of classifiers, here we need to give ranking to the each and every non-leaf node. Based on the feature ranking, see, in data warehousing mining, we had classification concept. In that concept, features are treated as attributes. At that time, we explained attribute oriented induction. Means attribute relevance analysis is performed on each and every attribute. If the attribute is used for mining process or not. If the attribute is not used for the mining process, simply we discard that attribute to construct a decision tree. Initially we are filtering the attributes which are used to perform mining process, that is data mining, right? Here also we are going to identify attributes which are used for mining process, constructing a model, which are used to construct a model. See, there are 10 attributes in the data set. The 10 attributes are not used to construct a decision tree. But how we can how we can identify the best attributes out of 10 attributes. Suppose there are 10 attributes in the data set. We need to identify which attributes are relevant to our model construction, right? See, observe this data set. I would like to show simple data set to you. Yes, observe this data set. This data set having 5 attributes, means 5 features. One is the serial number, model, condition, Leslie, price. These are 5 different features. In data mining point of view, these are treated as attributes. Here, serial number 1 shows one instance, 2 shows another instance, like that. There are 9 instances. Observe this one carefully. Out of 5 features, I am not using all 5 features to construct a decision tree. Why? Because here we are discarding simply serial number. Why? Because serial number having more number of distinct values. Serial number having more number of distinct values. See, whenever a feature having more number of distinct values, it may not be used for mining process. And here we need to remember the second point is you need to perform generalization. All these concepts are in data warehousing and mining classification concept. That same classification here we are using, but here we are constructing a new model. In data warehousing and mining, we are using the model which is already constructed by someone. We are using that model and we are going to evaluate our new data sets. We are going to perform classification by using new data sets. But in machine learning classification, we are constructing a new models, right? See here, we are going to identify the attribute rankings. Which attributes are having highest ranking? Those attributes are included in the decision tree construction. See here, what we calculated. See, observe this example here. We calculated mean value and a weighted average squared mean. For model, here we used only 3 attributes: model, condition, and right. Model, condition, and Leslie. We used only 3 features. Out of 5 features, we are using only 3 features. We discarded serial number and we discarded price also. Why? Because this is what an outcome, and it contains more number of distinct values. Serial number contains more number of distinct values. Observe the model having A100, T202, B3, M102. Like this, we had some features. Here, what we are doing here, observe this point carefully. Model having how many number of values? Model having, see, I collected these values. I mentioned all these values here. A100, simply I discarded duplicates. A100 is appeared here, A100 is appeared here, A100 is appeared here. 3 times appeared A100, right? I simply mentioned 1 time. Here, these 3 features are mentioned like this, and we calculated mean values as well as weighted average of squared means. After calculating the weighted average of squared means, we will get 3.21 for model and 2.68 for condition and 1.55 for Leslie. Got the point? Right. Like this, we calculated mean and average squared means. Based on these values, see, the model having highest rank, then the model is placed at the root level. The next highest goes to condition, then condition is arranged at left side of the root node, and Leslie is arranged at left side. Like that, we arranged attributes in the decision tree, means features in the decision tree. Don't confuse it. Features and attributes in data warehouse and mining, we are calling features as attributes. In machine learning, these attributes are model condition. These are what attributes. These attributes are treated as features. That's it. Right. I will explain this one. I will explain all these concepts in my next video. Now move to the current concept, that is ranking and probability estimation trees. See, I just introduced how to calculate the rank. This is what ranking. What we are doing here, we are doing ranking. Why we are giving the ranking to the features of a data set or features of an instance? We are giving ranking to arrange the attributes into decision tree, and we are going to perform probability estimation also. How many ways are there to construct a decision tree? What are the various possibilities to construct a decision tree? Right? We are going to calculate we are going to do probability estimation also. Right now, coming to the concept here, decision tree. What decision tree is going to do? The decision tree is going to do arrange the instance space containing instances into segments. Now I would like to explain this. What decision tree is going to do? Decision tree is going to do, see, this is an instance space. Assume like this. This instance space having set of instances like this, and these instances are arranged as segments. Segments are also called as leaf nodes sometimes. Right. Here, what we are applying? Here we are applying decision tree. This is what? Instance space. Instance space. Our decision trees divide the instance space decision trees divide the instance space into segments. Divide the instance space into segments. Right. This is one segment, and similarly, we may construct a n number of segments based on the data. Right. Here, observe this. Segments may be arranged like this. See, here this segment is arranged into this instance is arranged into this segment like this. The segments are arranged, see, like this. At the point, Here, these are what? These are called segments. These are called segments, right? These segments are also called as leaf nodes of a decision tree. That's the point. Now, coming to the presentation, here, decision trees divide the instance space into segments, right? And these segments are constructed, right, by using ranking of the feature. So can be turned into rankers by learning ordering on those segments, right? How to arrange the segments? By using ranking. I already explained how to construct a ranking, how to calculate a ranking for a feature, right? And unlike some other grouping models, decision trees have access to decision trees have access to the local class distribution. Those are called segments or leaves, which can directly be used to construct a leaf ordering that is optimal for the training data. And one more important point here, we need to remember the ranking obtained from the empirical probabilities in the leaves of a decision tree yield a convex ROC curve on the training data. Here, what it is going to construct? It is going to construct a ROC curve on the training data. On the training data, we already know what is an ROC curve, right? And see, the segment ordering cannot be deduced from the tree structure. The reason is essentially that even if you know the empirical probability associated with the parent of a split, this doesn't constrain the empirical probability of its children. Now, how to calculate the empirical probability, right? I will explain how to calculate the empirical probability. Here, empirical probability P is representing by using a character P. Suppose the instance having two classes, one is positive and another one is negative. Here, positive is representing by using n plus, that is green color, and negative is representing by using n minus, that is a orange color. Right? There are two classes, right? Observe this: positive, n positives and n negatives. Here, who is the parent for n positives and n negatives? Here, the parent for n positives and n negatives is n. N is equal to n positives plus n negatives. And here, n may divided into two subsets. The set 1 is n1 and set 2 is n2. Here, set n1 may contain positives as well as negatives, and set 2 also may contain positives as well as negatives. Those are representing by using n1 plus and n1 minus, and n2 plus and n2 minus. Class distribution in children with n1 is equal to what? N1 plus n1 number of positives plus n1 negatives. And what about n2? N2 is equal to n2 positives plus n2 negatives. Here, empirical probability P is equal to n positives by n. Here, n positives means what? N positives means that is equal to n1 by n into n1 positives by n1 plus n2 by n into n2 positives by n2. It is equal to n1 by n into P plus n2 by n into P2. This is the equation we need to use to calculate the empirical probability. Right. Here, every time the probability is evaluated like this, P1 less than or equal to P less than or equal to P2, or if you take a probability to P2 less than or equal to P and P less than or equal to P1. means here, yes, this one. A parent segment in the curve is known as its children may come either early or late in the ordering. This equation tells, this condition tells the ordering. P1 less than or equal to P, P less than or equal to P2. If P1 and P2 are the children for a probability, empirical probability P. And observe this example. Yes, observe the decision tree. This decision tree having 50 positives and 100 negatives. These 50 positives and 100 negatives are divided or splitted at first split level into 30 positives and 35 negatives at right side, left side. Actually, this is right side for the tree. This is left side for the tree, and this is right side for the tree. And it right side 20 positives and 65 negatives. In second split, 30 positives and 35 negatives are divided into 29 positives and 10 negatives, 1 positive and 25 negatives. Similarly, in third split, right side chain is divided into 15 positives, 3 negatives, and 5 positives, 62 negatives. Now observe the example here. Here, the growing tree is considered like this. Initially, for class distribution, 50 positives and 100 negatives are there. This one is treated as a root node initially, 50 positives and 100 negatives. This is a root node. This root node is splitted into two child nodes. For first split, see, for first split, how many childs are formed? Two childs are formed. One child is with 30 positives and 35 negatives, and second child is with 20 positives and 65 negatives. Here, how many segments are formed? Two segments are formed, right? The first segment having 30 positives and 35 negatives, and second segment having 20 positives and 65 negatives. After adding two more splits, see, observe this. This is second split and this is third split. After adding two more splits like 2 and 3, how many segments are formed? It forms 4 new segments. 4 new segments. This is segment 1, this is segment 2, segment 3, and segment 4. Got the point? Right. This is the procedure to construct a segments. Right. Here, each segment is treated as, see, bottom layer treated as a leaf nodes. Bottom layer is treated as leaf nodes. And see, 15 plus 3 minus is 1 segment, 29 plus 10 minus is 1 segment, 5 plus 62, 5 positive 62 negatives is 1 segment, 1 positive 25 negatives is another segment. Here, we're counting these from left to right order, right? And see, the constructed model, we constructed model like this. The constructed model is correct. We need to perform some, we need to apply some measures on these on this constructed tree model. Those are called impurity measures, right? We already know impurity measures like entropy, information gain, Gini index, square root Gini, etc. Right? By using those impurity measures, we are going to evaluate or estimate the accuracy of the constructed tree model. Right? This example clearly explains how the tree is constructed and how the segments are formed, and in the decision tree. Right? To form a decision tree, we need to perform split operation, right? To split a decision tree, here we need to follow 2 important steps. To construct a decision tree or to add a split to decision tree, we need to follow 2 important steps. One is split the corresponding segment into two or more. Sometimes we're dividing segment into two segments. In some cases, we divide the segment into more than two cases also, right? That is purely depending on the problem. And the second case is reorder the segments on decreasing slope. We need to reorder the segments what we constructed. Those segments should be arranged in the decreasing slope order, right? And see, these are the two important steps we need to follow to construct or to split a decision tree. Splitting the decision tree is what? One of the part in the decision tree construction, right? The whole process of growing a decision tree can be understood as an iteration of these two steps. These two steps are repeating to construct a decision tree. Why? Because these two steps are used for one split level. Means on one feature we are performing split operation. If you want to perform split operation on one feature, we need to follow these two steps, right? Thus, I mean, a decision tree may contain many number of features. On each and every feature, you need to apply these two steps. Means we need to iterate these two steps whenever you want to construct a decision tree, right? And see, what are the steps we need to execute repeatedly or iteratively? Sequence of splitting steps we need to perform. And we need to perform reordering step also. These are very, very important steps to construct a decision tree. How to construct a decision tree? Whenever you get a question, you need to answer like this. And next one is, it is an instructive to take this analysis step further by considering all possible rankings that can be constructed with a given tree. Here we need to construct all the possible rankings, right? Before going to construct a decision tree, I already told to you, we need to consider the ranking of each and every feature, right? See, after calculating ranking, only based on the ranking of the feature, we are constructing the decision tree. And there is another way to construct a decision tree. Initially, we are constructing a feature tree. Here we are not using any labels, any class labels. And we are constructing decision tree with different possibilities. See how many ways we can label the tree and what performance that would yield given that we know the number of positives and negatives covered in each leaf. We're constructing tree like that. See, here I would like to give general explanation to this. If a future tree has L number of leaves and we have C number of classes, there are L number of leaves, leaf nodes, and C number of classes. Then number of possible labeling of leaves with the class is C power L. These many number of possibilities are there. For example, if you consider example figure 5.4, I already shown that to you. There are 24, right? See, figure. See, this is a typing mistake. This is not a 24. This is 2 power 4. 2 power 4, that is equal to 16. These many number of labelings are possible, right? See, means here number of classes are 2 and the number of leaves are 4. Then how many number of possible labelings are? 16 possible labelings. Here, what about figure 5.4? This is the figure 5.4. Observe this. Here, how many leaf nodes are there? 4 leaf nodes are there. How many number of classes are existed? Positive class and negative class. Total 2 classes are existed. 2 power 4 means 16, right? This is 16. Like this, the feature trees are constructed. Now, observe this figure. This figure depicts all possible labelings based on the ranking. Here, yellow color is appearing, red color, and one more color, that is see, in figure 5.4, how many number of classes are there? 2 classes are there. And how many number of leaf nodes are there? 4 leaf nodes are there. 2 power 4, that is equal to 16 possible leaf labelings are existed. Here, combination is like this, plus minus, right? Like this, we may write plus plus, minus minus. This is what? See, plus indicates the first label. This minus indicates second label. Like this, there are 4 different number of labels, right? These 4 labels are arranged like 2 power 4, right? Like plus minus, minus plus minus plus. Like this, we can arrange all these. Here, how many colors are appearing? Violet, red, and orange colors are appearing to represent the possible combinations, right? Here, this is what 4 segment coverage curve or ranking curve. Here, each dot represents one splitting point, one feature, one possible splitting point. The class distribution in the leaves of an unlabeled feature tree can be used to turn one of the same tree into a decision tree, a ranking tree, or a probability estimation tree. Here, see the class distribution in the leaves of an unlabeled feature tree. How the feature tree is turned into a decision tree. This is an important point. Feature tree is turned into a decision tree by using ranking of feature ranking as well as probability estimation. Here, what are the points we need to consider to construct a decision tree? To turn a feature tree into a ranker, what we need to do? To turn a feature tree into probability estimator, what we need to do? To turn a tree into classifier, what we need to do? Right? Here, these 3 important points we need to remember. How the feature tree is converted into a decision tree, or turned into a decision tree by using ranking with the probability estimator as a classifier. To turn a feature tree into a ranker, we order its leaves on non-increasing empirical probabilities. We already know the empirical probability calculation process. By using the empirical probability, we are going to arrange the tree features in proper order. And one more important point here is, this one should happen on training set only. On training set only. We're not involving this for test set. Test set is used to evaluate the constructed classifier, right? What we need to what we observe here, we order the feature tree leaves on non-increasing empirical probabilities. Non-increasing empirical probabilities. And to turn tree into a probability estimator, we predict the empirical probabilities in each leaf. Got the point? Here, what we need to do? We need to calculate in both cases, for rankers, for ranker tree, for probability estimator tree. What we need to do? We need to perform empirical probability on each and every leaf. and apply Laplace or M estimated smoothing to make the estimates more robust for small leaves. And the third important point is to turn a tree into a classifier. We choose the operating conditions and find operating points that is optimal under those operating conditions. Here we need to remember the splitting point. Yes, we know how to arrange the features in the ranking. Which feature we need to arrange at a root level, which feature we need to arrange at left side, which feature we need to arrange at right side, or what are the various levels we need to use the concerned features. But here we must remember the constraint what we need to place at each and every feature level. Sometimes we need to mention the constraint on each and every feature level. For example, if you want to give a loan, you need to construct a decision tree like this. Here I would like to explain decision tree. Now observe this. Suppose this is the decision tree. Here you are going to evaluate. See, the person is greater than 18. This is what operational condition or operating condition. What we observed here. See, we choose operating conditions. Without this condition, how we can arrange how we can split this node into child or segments. This is what operating condition, right? Based on this, the segments are constructed. This is what an operating condition. For classifier, for construct a classification tree, we need to measure, we need to mention operating conditions. And here you may write income also. Age greater than 18. Immediately you need to identify the income of the person. Income greater than, for example, 20,000. This is another operating condition. Like this, we need to identify to perform classification. This is the third point. See what we observed here. We observed how to construct a ranking tree, how to construct a probability estimator tree, and how to construct a classifier. Right. The next important topic here is pruning. Very important point here. See why we need pruning. Pruning means removing unnecessary. Here, what is the unnecessary? We need to construct shades. We need to construct leaves. We need to construct segments. Sometimes, if you construct segments, those segments may not be useful or may not be relevant, may not be generate relevant results, may not be generate correct results. In such cases, we need to remove the unnecessary segments or unnecessary leaves from the tree, right? Now observe this. The class distribution is representative and that false negatives are about 20 times more costlier than the false positives. See, while while constructing a model or after constructing the model, where generating confusion matrix, I already explained confusion matrix in my previous videos. Confusion matrix having four important points. One is true positives, true negatives, false positives, and false negatives. True positives, true negatives, false positives, false negatives. Right? True positives means actually those are positives. Our model, our classifier correctly classified. Those are called true positives. True negatives means actually those are negatives. Our classifier correctly classify those instances are negatives. There is no issue in true positives and true negatives. We will get issues with false negative and false positive. Why? Because whenever we get false negatives and false positives, our classifier is not performing correctly. Our classifier doesn't classify the data correctly. That's the point. To estimate the accuracy of the constructed classifier, we are going to use confusion matrix. While constructing confusion matrix, we are going to use four important points. The points are true positives, true negatives, false positives, false negatives. If number of true positives and true negatives are increased, our classifier accuracy will be increased. Whenever false negatives and false positives are increased, our classifier accuracy will be decreased. And here one more important point is false negatives and false positives affect the accuracy of the classifier. There is no doubt. It degrades the accuracy. But out of these two, which will give more impact? Which one is most costlier? That is false negatives. Whenever we get false negatives, it impacts the constructor classifier 20 times when compared to false negatives, when compared to false positives, right? Now observe this. In such cases, how to reduce this damage, right? This one is reduced. False negatives are reduced by using pruning. False negatives are reduced by using pruning. When see, when we go for pruning, see what is pruning? First, removing. See, operation of merging all leaves in subtree is called pruning the subtree. We are not removing, right? Whenever we constructed leaf segments, if the segments will generate more number of false negatives, then don't construct such kind of segments. Don't construct such kind of segments. If you observe this, it will generate more number of false negatives. These two labels will generate more number of false negatives. Then don't construct these two segments. Simply construct, simply stop the splitting here itself. 20 plus and 65 minus. Simply stop splitting here itself. Don't construct. Or if you construct it, then remove these two segments. Got the point? Here, what is a pruning? Merging the subtrees, merging the leaf nodes in a subtree. See, this is what subtree. Observe this point. 20 plus and 65 minus is what? 20 positives and 65 negatives. This is what subtree. It forms a subtree. Simply, leaf nodes of the subtree is what? 15 positives and 3 negatives, 5 positives and 62 negatives. These two are These two leaves are merged in a subtree. The subtree is 20 positives and 65 negatives. This is what pruning. Very, very important point. Pruning is. I mean, in data warehousing and mining, we already learned pre-pruning and post-pruning. Pre-pruning means before constructing the tree. Before constructing the tree, we are not forming these two segments, these child segments. That is what pre-pruning. And post-pruning means we constructed tree like this, tree with 4 labels. We constructed tree with 4 labels, but after constructing the tree, we remove these two childs and we are using this one as a subtree. Right? That is called post-pruning. And what kind of benefits we will get with pruning, and there are some drawbacks also. Now observe this. The advantage of pruning is that we can simplify the tree without affecting the chosen operating point, which is sometimes useful if we want to communicate the tree model to somebody else. See, observe this here. If you are removing these two children, it doesn't affect the tree. It doesn't affect the subtree or tree. And it doesn't affect the operation what we are performing, operating condition what we are performing here. And the disadvantage is here we are losing. If you are removing these two segments, we need to give ranking for these two only, right? 29, 10 and 29 positives, 10 negatives, 1 positive, 25 negatives, and 20 positives and 65 negatives. Right? What about these two? These two are pruned. These two segments are pruned. Means the disadvantage here is we are losing the ranking performance. When pruning is recommended, when pruning is not recommended. Observe this. Pruning is not recommended until and unless you only intend to use the tree for classification, not for ranking or probability estimation. See, if you want to perform only classification by using tree, then you go for pruning. If you want to perform a ranking or probability estimation, don't perform pruning. Don't do pruning, right? If you perform pruning while calculating ranking and probability estimation, right? Some segments or child nodes are removed with the pruning. Then what you will lose the ranking performance. And one more point is you can define the expected operating conditions with sufficient precision. One popular algorithm, see here we are using a popular algorithm to perform pruning is called as reduced error pruning. Reduced error pruning is the popular algorithm to perform the pruning. Coming to the next one. See, this is the algorithm we need to use to perform pruning, tree pruning. The algorithm name is prune tree. For prune tree algorithm, we are passing two parameters. Decision tree T. Here capital T indicates decision tree and capital D indicates data set. This data set is what? A labeled data set. Right? What it is mean? What it is going to perform? It is going to perform pruning operation on the tree. The final outcome is what? Pruned tree. Pruned tree means see like this. Here these two children are merged into this subtree. Then you will get a pruned tree. To get like that, we need to use the algorithm. We need to use this algorithm. See, for prune tree algorithm, we need to pass two parameters. The first parameter is decision tree. And second one is labeled data set D. And what it will give, the result of the prune tree algorithm is pruned tree. Means the child nodes are merged into a subtree. And what about the procedure? What about the process? Here we're doing iteratively. We are executing some steps iteratively. For each internode level of a tree, we are doing this. See, for every internal node n, here n indicates what? An internal node. This internal node belongs to whom? Tree. Tree is represented by using T, and internal node is represented by using N, and pruned tree is represented by using T dash. And see, we are doing this from starting from the bottom, right? We are beginning this one at bottom. Now observe this subtree of T, tree having some subtree, right? Now observe this. This is a tree. This tree subtree is what? This 20 positives and 65 negatives. This part is subtree, and 30 positives and 35 negatives. This part is also a subtree for this tree. Now, subtree of T rooted at N, right? And that one is assigned to Tn. Now T1, Tn is what? Subtree of T rooted at N. And X belongs to D, it is covered by N. Here, X is an instance which is from data set D, and that X should be covered by the internal node. That one is assigned to Dn. Now Dn indicates what? The instance which was covered, which is in D, and it was covered by N. N is node. And then what we are going to do, if accuracy of Tn over Dn is worst, then majority class in Dn. Then what we are going to do, we are replacing Tn in T. We are replacing Tn in T. Whatever the subtree subnode you identified, that one is merged into tree by leaf labeled with majority classes in Dn. See here, what we are doing, simply here we are removing this and moving to, this is what? Dn. These Dns are moved into this tree. Tns are moved into this tree, right? And this procedure is iteratively executing, and finally what you will get a pruned version of tree, right? This is the algorithm we need to use to perform tree pruning. And the next one is sensitivity to skewed class distribution. Here sensitivity means to give ranking to the tree, to do probability estimation, tree probability estimation, we are using impurity measures. Impurity measures are 4 measures are there, right? Gini index, and one more is there, that is square root Gini, entropy, etc. By using these measures, we will identify the impurity from the tree, right? See, by using the impurity measures, we are going to estimate the impurity from the constructed classifier. Entropy, Gini index, squared Gini, we are using different impurity measures. Suppose, observe this, there are 10 positives and 10 negatives. Out of 10 positives and 10 negatives, here 2 splits are constructed. The splits are, see, 8 positives and 2 negatives, 2 positives and 8 negatives, right? And 10 positives and 6 negatives, 0 positives and 4 negatives. Observe this. Here, if you calculate the weighted average entropy of both splits, see, if you calculated weighted average entropy of both splits and conclude the first split is the better one. See, this split is the better one, right? You also and also calculated the average Gini index. See here, what we did, we calculated entropy for both splits, and what we concluded, the first split is better. And after using Gini index also, it will give the first split is the first split having the highest rank. What I would like to say here, there are three measures: entropy, Gini index, square root Gini. If you are using entropy, out of this, if you give ranking to all these segments, for first segment, it will give highest ranking. Entropy will give highest ranking. If you are using Gini index also giving highest ranking to this, to the first segment. But if you are using square root Gini, it will give priority to the first priority to, it will give top rank to the second index. Got the point? Means if we are working with different impurity measures will give different rankings to your segments. Then what you will get confusion. Out of all these, which measure we need to use, which is suitable measure to construct a model? Then immediately what we need to do? We need to take decision, right? Immediately you simply multiply each positive with the 10, each positive with 10, that means 10 times. You are considering positives 10 times positives, 8 into 10, then what you will get? 80 positives, and there is no difference in negatives. And similarly calculate 2 into 10, that is 20 positives, and there is no change in negative. And there are 10 positives, 10 into 10, 100 positives, and there is no different change in negatives. And there are 0 positives, 0 positive, 0 into 10 means 0, and there is no difference in negative. Got the point? Then you need to recalculate the same, like entropy, Gini index, and square root of the Gini index, right? Then what you will get? If you are using these values and Gini index, entropy, and square root Gini will rank the second one as highest. Means in the first case, if you consider these segments, Gini index and entropy will give top rating to the top rank to the first segment. After multiplying the positive classes 10 times, and you recalculated the same impurity measures, these three measures will give top rating to the second split. Got the point? This is what? Which one is correct? Which one will give better results? In both cases, Gini index will give consistent results. Am I right or not? If you take this one, entropy and Gini index will rated first one. Square root Gini will rated second one. If you multiplied positive classes with 10, all are recommending or all are rated second one as highest. Second segment as highest. This is okay. This is okay. This is preferable. But the problem is the real world data is sensitive data. If you do modifications like this, means what you did here 8 classes, actual classes are 8 positive classes, but you multiplied with 10, means you increased the number of positive classes 10 times. This is not a right practice. This is not a right practice. Why? Because the real world data is sensitive, right? The real world data is sensitive. So you better follow square root Gini, right? To avoid such kind of issues, right? Entropy and Gini indexes are sensitive to fluctuations in the class distribution. So in the class distribution, entropy and Gini index are sensitive. If you multiply 10 times, the real world data is sensitive data, right? Don't do like that. You better prefer square root Gini, right? Then you need to follow the following rules to construct a decision tree. These are called rule set to construct a decision tree. The rule set is, the first rule from the rule set is, okay, unmuted. I will explain one more time. Coming to the first rule. The first rule is we need to give correct ranking to segments or leaf nodes which are in the tree. Based on the ranking, we construct a good classifier. Good classifier always gives good results, means it will produce correct results. The first important point is what? Ranking segments correctly or ranking leaf nodes correctly. Based on ranking only, the segments are arranged in proper order. And coming to the next one, while using impurity measures, better prefer insensitive measures while doing class distribution. We already observed one case. Entropy and Gini index are case sensitive, means sensitive while handling the data. Whereas in square root Gini is insensitive. It will always give correct results. Because of that reason, you better prefer square root Gini. And third point is disable pruning and smooth the probability estimates by means of the Laplace correction, right? While working with ranking and probability estimation, don't prefer pruning. And fourth point is operation conditions. I already explained operation conditions, right? And best operation condition or operating point on the ROC curve will give better classifier, right? And the last point is prune away any subtree whose leaves all have the same label, right? These are the 5 important rules you need to follow to construct a decision tree. We already discussed all these rules in this video from starting to this till now, right? This is about ranking and probability estimation trees, right? Till now what we discussed, I would like to recap. What is decision tree, how to construct a decision tree, and how to give ranking, and what is a empirical probability, how to calculate empirical probability. This is the equation to calculate empirical probability. And I already explained one example to construct a decision tree, and these leaf nodes are called as segments, right? These are the 2 important points we need to use at each split of a decision tree. These 2 are iterative statements. These 2 are iterative steps we need to execute to construct a decision tree. And next one is constructing ranking tree, constructing probability estimator tree, and to construct a classifier. What we need to do to construct a ranking tree, to construct a probability estimator, to construct a classifier. And what is pruning? We already discussed the pruning concept. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of pruning also we discussed it. And this is the pruning algorithm, right? And the last one is sensitivity to skewed class distribution. While distributing the class, we are using impurity measures. While working with impurity measures, entropy and information Gini index are sensitive measures. So it affects the real world data. You better don't go for these 2 while working with class distribution. In the remaining cases, you may use these 2, entropy and Gini index. But for class distribution, better go for square root Gini. It will always give consistent results. This is what we discussed, and the final one is rule set, what we need to follow to construct a decision tree. Thank you for watching this video. I will share assessment link to you. All of you must do the assessment test.